Do the Seattle Mariners have a Bryce Miller problem? Guys, that is what we're diving into today right here in the NW Sportscast. Bryce Miller last season was one of the Mariners' best players. He was pitching like a borderline ace for most of the season. He was having a great year. I mean, he had a 2.94 ERA, a 0.98 whip across 31 starts. He had a 12-8 record. He put together 3.4 wins above replacement. He was an elite pitcher through 180 innings, struck out 171 batters. He played really, really well last year. But this year, the numbers tell a far different story. This year, in 9 starts, he has a 2-4 record with a 5.36 ERA. He has a 1.534 whip, an ERA plus at 69, only 37 strikeouts in 43.2 innings. He's not even averaging 5 innings a start, averaging about 4 2/3 of an inning per start. And his B-WAR is now at -0.4. Yeah, it's been a rough year for Bryce Miller. He did take a little bit of time on the IL, but then since then he basically just came right back. He didn't have a rehab start. They just brought him right back. Now, what was interesting is he made a comment that said there's something in his arm that they have to take out, but they can't take it out until the offseason or else they'll have to shut him down for the season. And so obviously they clearly don't want to have to do that, so they're giving him another shot in the majors. My question is he just regressing, or is this because of the injury? And if so, maybe you just have to shut him down. Looking at his baseball savant page, the numbers, again, they don't look great. His expected ERA is a 4.69, so he maybe has gotten a little bit of bad luck, but still not great. His expected batting average, 280, which is really bad. His fastball velocity is at 94.4. His chase rate is in the 18th percentile. That's not good. His walk rate is low. He's walking too many guys. Just everything seems to be off for him this year. Now, I will say, the underlying metrics from 2024 were a lot better. I mean, last year, it still wasn't perfect, but last year he did a lot better at getting guys to whiff. He had a much better expected batting average, a much better whip. He was getting a lot more ground balls. Right now, he's just getting hit too hard. He's getting barreled up too often, and he's not getting enough ground balls. His ground ball percentage is in the 15th percentile. His strikeout percentage is in the 33rd percentile. That's just a recipe for disaster. He's been throwing his four-seamer less this year, which I think is interesting, but he's also getting less velocity on it. Everything else is kind of the same, except he's been throwing his knuckle curve a lot more this year. And I'm not sure if the knuckle curve has been all that effective because opponents are actually hitting 269 off the knuckle curve. They're not really slugging off of it, but they're getting hits. They're also striking out, though, on it. They're striking out at the 38%. So maybe the knuckle curve's not the worst thing in the world. My big concern with him is he's just not getting enough ground balls and enough strikeouts. They're putting the ball in the air way too much. His vertical movement has actually been up this year, which, again, I'm not sure if that's a good thing because he's been walking more guys. I don't know. The underlying numbers look really, really interesting for him because there's not anything that really stands out that makes me say, oh, that's the reason why. It just feels like it's a combination of things, and that's why I am starting to think that something's going on with his arm. I think there's something going on that we don't know about. The underlying metrics, again, they all just are like a little bit worse than last year. There's not like one thing in particular, though, where it's like, oh, that's it. That sticks out. Like, to me, I see a guy who's tired, a guy who's overworked, and who's beginning to fade in the 4th or 5th inning. I was hoping that, an IL stint could help him and maybe fix what was going on, but the problem is they only gave him a 15-day rest, so they skipped his turn in the rotation 3 times. And then they went right back to him without even giving him a rehab start, which I thought was crazy. And I think that it's almost insane to expect him to come in without a rehab start. You have to give him a rehab start. Maybe 2, maybe 3. It's not like Logan Evans has been struggling. I mean, Logan Evans in his last start went 8 innings and allowed 1 run and looked excellent. So the idea that, you need Bryce Miller in the rotation, that's just not true. At the moment, it's not true. Logan Evans was outperforming him. And Bryce, if Bryce can't even give you 5 quality innings, how much longer are you going to play this game? At some point, when do you just say, let's just do the surgery now, let's shut him down for the year, and let's get him fully healthy for 2026? Because I think we have the arms in our system. And I get it, like maybe they want to trade Logan Evans, and that's why, they're trying to keep his value high. If that's your plan, fine. But when you have a capable arm in AAA, and then you have Bryce Miller up here who's can't even get past the 5th inning, I think it's at some point, I don't know how many more starts you can give him. He started 9 games. Normally my limit would be around 10 starts, so he's about there. If he wants to go maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 more starts, but I don't see how many more starts you can give this guy if he keeps struggling. Hopefully he gets better. Hopefully this turns out into be a non-issue. But he said it himself. There are things going on in his arm. They might have to take something out. And I would just rather get it over with than keep watching him struggle. Because it's hard to watch a guy who I really like. He's a really great person, a really great player. I love watching him throw when he's on, but when he's off, it's just really hard for the team. It's hard for the team to win. So again, it's not only hard for me as a fan of Bryce Miller, but as a fan of the Mariners. I want this team to win, and I think the best way for them to win would be to get somebody else those innings who might be a little more reliable. Because if he was giving us 5 good innings, that would be different. But he's giving us 5 innings of 5.36 ERA baseball. Like, remember last year, Brian Wu, he was kind of the same way. He could only get through about 5 innings last year. The difference was Brian Wu would go 5 innings, 1 run every game. Bryce is going 5 innings, 4 runs every game, which is just not a winning. It's just not a winning formula. So that's my take on Bryce Miller. Let me know down in the comments if you agree. And as always, guys, go Mariners. See you guys tomorrow.